What's going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It is very nice to have you here today. I have added something new to the collection. Now, some of you are looking at this and saying, we just watched this video. That's the CKF 3.0. And it isn't. No, this is the 1.1. And that's interesting to me. So the original CKF Evolution, the Evo that came out, had these choils in the grip. It was very similar in all regards to this. Now, don't get me wrong, this is very similar to the 3.0, but it's not the same. Blade's a little different. Handle is a different shape. This has their new D-shaped pivot. The stock pocket clip is actually slightly deeper carry, which makes me very happy. On this generation, as you can see, they are absolutely not deep carry, so they've corrected that a little bit. I love this design. For those of you that have watched my channel, I started not that long ago. I started with the 2.0 here and instantly fell in love with the way this thing sits in my hand. With the belly, still got enough tip to be pokey. This one's M390, of course. This is number 30. I've added A Purvis blades. They're Ghost Damascus clips to this one and to my 3.0. All that nonsense aside, when a knife fits your hand, that speaks to something that, well, that's how you end up buying more of them or getting a collection of them or leaning into them or buying them over and over again. Not all knives do. I've had a lot of knives that come through the channel that other people absolutely love. They're head over heels with it, and it just doesn't feel right. The Evolution design does. So when someone recently was selling this thing, I've been looking for an original V1, the original Evolution, and I can't find one. What I didn't know is that they had come forward and re-released the one as the 1.1 and made some changes. So I said, yeah, let's do that. So I sold some stuff, because you have to, and brought this home. And yes, it is very, God, I tell you what, man, I love DLC, but the fingerprints are brutal. It is very similar to the 3, but not exactly the same. The blade is a little taller. The angle on the forward cut is a little bit shallower on the 1.1, as it was on the original. As I said, they've changed the position of the clip just a hair, which makes a big difference. Beyond that, they are very much the same. The texturing, which you're not going to be able to tell from this video, on the scales is a little bit different. These things are never quite the same. Beyond that, very similar. At this point, there will come a time probably when I'm going to have to make up my mind and decide which one of these I actually love and want to keep in the collection and which one I'll move along. As it stands, I don't know. So let's take a look at what you get. Now, these were, I think, at release. Where are my notes? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so at release, the 1.1 here, these are about $700, which is not insignificant. They are considerably more than that now. The Evo line is one of the few knives, a little bit like Arius's, that cost more used. I hate that, but here we are. So let's take a look at what you get. The Evolution 1.1 here has M398 blade steel. I love M398. It is such a cool blade steel. These are numbered. This is number 128. It has more shaping through the handle, more choils, right? I don't usually like forced choils on knife handles. I prefer a more neutral shape. But because the way this knife fits my hand, They don't bother me at all. And in fact, I enjoy them. So let's take a look at what you get. You get just about 3.5 inches of cutting on a little over, just at 3 3/4 inches of that M398. The grip area, and we're gonna include the choil, is 4 1/4 inches, so lots of room. Tip to tail, the 1.1 comes in at 8, a little under 8.5, but not much. And now I have no idea where I was. I got called away. Okay, let's just pick it up. Closed length on the 1.1 is 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4. All these things are relatively chunky in the closed, about 1 3/4 inches. Right, you definitely know it's in the pocket. It does have a nice deep-ish carry, although the clip's a little tight, but look at that. Right, not bad. Considering the standard is almost, it's way more knife sticking out. You can see the difference in the design a lot here at the tip. So on the 1.1, right, that's almost see how that line is smooth? See the step? The handle is a slightly different shape and the blade is a slightly different shape. Beyond that, they are very similar. Now, this one is M390. The 3.0 is M390 and the 1.1 is M398. They both have the same high polished DLC. This is really down to, do I want both as a collector just to have them, or am I going to pick the one I like better and keep that one? And I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet. Collecting knives is a silly thing. I've said this many times. There was a time when I thought spending $200 on a knife was stupid. And, there's a part of me that still kind of feels that way. But here we are. There are some differences. Let me see if I have a ruler. And I do. See if we can divine some of the differences. I'm going to use my calipers instead. So that's zeroed out. So, from here, we'll do that groove to here. No. Let's do this. I'm going to do it somewhere where you can really track it down. All right, so from the last bit of jimping to there is 1.5 inches on the 1.1. From the last bit of jimping to there, almost identical. A little bit different, but not much. If we come forward to just in front of the deployment hole, 1.57. Forward to just in front of the deployment hole. Try to keep it as straight as possible. 1.57. They really are very similar. You can see that the flats, right, on the 1.1 come out further. This is shorter here than here. The grind is not identical. Beyond that, it's an aesthetic difference. They do look kind of cool, don't they? Spending a lot of money on knife is dumb. Look, I'm not saying it's dumb to do it, but there are people out there that walk around with their expensive knife collections like they did something special. You didn't. You just spent a lot of money on knives. I love mine. There's a joy that comes from having really, really nice things. It's true. Don't hurt yourself doing it. Collect where you're comfortable collecting. I am beyond where I'm comfortable, but at this point I have enough other knives that when something like this comes along, I can sell things to fill in the bucket that is necessary to go get one of these. These are about somewhere between $800 and $900 right now on the secondary market if you can find one. I actually have another coming. I want to see what the smaller, not the smaller, excuse me, what the Tanto is all about on the most recent drop. They called it the 4.0 or the Evo T. Now the 4.0 is decidedly smaller than any of these. The Evo T is basically the same size as the 2.0 here, but with a Tanto blade, and I'm interested. So I have one of those coming in, maybe to purchase, maybe for review. I'm not really sure how we're going to land that yet. CKF makes, oh man, I'm really going to step in it here. CKF makes consistently the best production knives going. I can hear heads exploding. Riot does exceptionally good work. CKF is consistently as good, if not a little bit better than Riot, and to me that means they are better at it. Interestingly enough, the rumor is that their factory is the same as basically the Kevin John factory in China. That's where the parts are manufactured before they're brought back to wherever they actually live and then sort of refined and put together. For all of us really know, there's just one big factory. But anyway, I have a bunch of CKF knives now, and I've had some of the really old stuff too, 10, 15 years ago, and I have never been disappointed. I cannot say the same about Wii and Artisan and any of those, right? As good as their stuff can be, and it is, every once in a while you get one and you're just kind of like, what happened here? I have never had that happen with a CKF knife. With CKF knives, their build quality, when I invest money in a CKF knife, even though I may not know for sure that I'm going to love the knife because of the design, I do know that the build quality is going to be at such a place that the exorbitant amount of money that these cost isn't going to sting as much as it could. Hang on. By way of example, this is a Shirogorov. This is the Hattie Gen 3. This is better than these. It just is. There is a smoothness to the action, an overall fit and finish. To me at least, other than some customs, it's unmatched. Next step down is the CKF stuff. What I meant was I've never been disappointed is I recently got this. This is the 111. This does not feel like a Shirogorov. And it should at the amount of money this thing costs. This feels like any number of other production LMAX and G10 folding knives. I have never had that happen with a CKF. When I get a knife that was manufactured by this company, you can tell. Anyway. I think that the Evolution it might actually be my favorite knife design of all time so far. And that is saying something. I've had a lot of pocket knives, but I love the way these things feel in hand. Now, right now the issue is, do I love the choils on the 1.1 more than the sort of neutral handle on the 3? We'll get there with some time and use. I own both of these. I can beat the crap out of them. Man, their DLC is so good. Again, you just have to fall in love with fingerprints because they're everywhere, no matter what you do. But I have yet to put a mark on either one of these. And I'm not going to say I've tried. I haven't been out like kicking the crap out of them. But I just spent 3 days up the coast, a little place called Sea Ranch. And I brought these with me. And these things have been in the sand. They have been on the beach. They have cut food. I cut some sticks, just fooling around, pretending like I didn't make a fire because I couldn't on that beach, but I feathered some stuff and I cut some stuff down for kindling. you can't tell, other than I had to clean some grit. These are really well done. Now, looking in them, I think they have just about the same multi-row bearing system in both. I may take them apart to find out. I haven't done that yet. I do love the sort of wood grain texture, right? On the scales, it gives it a little bit of grip. I love that you can still see the belt satin, like the belt lines, underneath the DLC. I get it. This is not the knife for everybody, for a couple of reasons. I mean, you may just not like this design. And that's cool. You don't have to, right? Best thing about pocket knives, hands down, is that we can all love something different. We don't all have to love the same thing, and nobody has to be wrong, because it's a personal choice. I really like this shape. Enough so that I have a fourth one coming. Shall we weigh it? Well, let's do the basic specs then. You get, and it's a pretty thick slice, 180 thousandths. Is it more than that? No, it's not. You know what? I'm going to get a good bite here. There we go. So just shy of 5 millimeters. It's a nice thick slice. Because it's hollow ground, it absolutely cuts like a razor blade. It really does. Is it the same? Oh, that's a good place to do it. What the hell's wrong with me? All right, so yeah, same blade stock on the 3 and the 1.1. What do you think? Do you prefer the choils in the scale, or do you like it a little more neutral? Do you like the deeper carry on the pocket clip, or do you like the sort of stock distance? I don't know, I'm open to the discussion. Why don't you, in the comments, tell me, of these two, which one you would keep and why? I am curious. Again, these are about between $800 and $900 used. I don't think you're going to find one, but I will post a link in the description to Rotten Designs in general, and also to Arizona Custom Knives, where you might be able to find something like this. I think they have some 4.0s right now. This is just a great knife, and I think it's beautiful, and I am really happy that I'm in a position right now in my life that I was able to sell things enough that I could grab this, so that I can really experience the subtle differences between the 1.1 and the 3, and then compare it to the 2.0, and then shortly the Evo T. So I guess we'll see how that all works out. I, of course, have been a Therapeutic Edge. I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions about these knives or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Otherwise, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.